Hello and welcome back to Rugen Trades. Today is episode number 58. In line with the World Cup that's ongoing right now, I'm going to talk about scalping and how it's like taking penalties. Well, I haven't been scalping in at least 6 months, I believe, but yesterday I did a scalp. And with today's matches going to penalties, where Germany and Netherlands lost to their opponents in penalties, well, it reminds me why scalping isn't for everyone. Now, scalping, I haven't been scalping. The reason because my day job doesn't allow me to do so. But yesterday was my off day, and I looked at the charts, and it was a setup that looked familiar. It's like a bit like muscle memory. I look at it visually, it looked like a possible trade, so I went for a trade. I'm going to talk about it later. Now, if you are not familiar with scalping, let me just try and compare it to a penalty kick. Firstly, it may look easy, where a lot of gurus probably on YouTube or Instagram will lead you to believe, but it is not. The pressure to be right, the pressure of losing money, the pressure of not knowing at what level to take profit, the pressure to basically be the master trader that you believe you are, all those will basically trip you up. Everything will just come to mess with your mind, and if you are not ready, then I would suggest you don't scalp. Number two, like any good penalty takers, you must study the opponent, your goalkeeper, where their tendencies are, whether they dive left, right, their pattern for intimidating the penalty takers. So as a trader, you need to do your study into the market that you're trading or you're scalping, because every instrument probably has their own little profile that you have to understand before you take on the challenge of scalping. And if you can, please do practice trade through demo trading, and that will give you confidence to actually make that trade when the time comes. And of course, number 4, you have to be willing to step up. Now, even in World Cup, not every player would want to take the penalty because the pressure is just too much. Now, in scalping, it's the same. You must be willing to make that click, make that decision to put risk on. So if you're willing to do that, then you'll be ready. And the last 2 points is really about not fighting the tape. What do I mean by that? If the price action is basically going down, then there's no point of you fighting the tape by going long. You are basically you'll be in a shock basically if you want to fight the tape. And lastly, for scalpers and penalty takers, you should have no hesitation. You don't change your mind last minute. You don't decide to kick left and then you decide last minute to go right, and it will just basically screw up your whole kick, and you don't want that. Now, I'm going to talk about FCPO. Now, this is, I made a scalp yesterday, and if you follow my previous video, you know I like to mark out price ranges in terms of the balance point right here. I mark out the lows in February to the highs in April, and the midpoint is here. So by that definition, I'm looking at price at this range at being a premium. So when price is a premium, I'm always looking for shorts. So what happened yesterday was the 29th, and market open here. Market open right here. This was Friday's close, Friday 26th June. Price gap up open here at 4598 and basically hit this resistance which I mark out here, this red shaded area, and price rejected, and that is when I decided to enter a short at around 1156, which is around this bar. When I saw this happening, price rejecting here, I decided to take a short and I close it in 10 minutes. So by 1106 I close at 4577 right here. My initial target to close up was 4555, which was anticipating price to take out this sell stop right here. Eventually it did today. It did come to this level, but because you're scalping, you normally don't hold trades overnight. You take whatever the market gives you, and I decided to take profit. And this was my trade. I traded, this was 10:54 a.m. yesterday. I sold one lot at 4590 and I closed my trade at 1106 at 4577, which basically I have a small account on Webull. So Webull allows me to trade the FCPO, 10 minutes 325, and probably if I take out commissions it'll be net around 300 ringgit. And the reason why I took the trade also, as I mentioned, I haven't been scalping for a long time, but yesterday I had the time off from work, basically just not doing too much but looking at the charts, looking at the market, and I was also learning through this. Now if you are familiar with me, I always try to look for content to learn, and you would want to also try to sign up for this. It's totally free. It's under Chart Academy. They have this free, they just launched recently, and I was looking at this video talking about liquidity, and that reminded me how price basically is always hunting for liquidity. And what does that mean? Now if you go back to the daily chart, price on 23rd June have already taken out this high here, and whatever sellers, whoever is going short, would have put their buy stop right there, and they would have taken out liquidity. And that means when price is going through a consolidation, once it hits a high, it will likely go back to the lows and probably hunt for this level at 4437. It may not go there, but likely I think this will just trade range. Maybe it will take this level at 4521 before it rejects and trades around here, and that's probably a safer way to scalp if you are not holding multiple days, because to take this kind of profit you will have is a different type of trade for futures, because this is a large move right there. This is, how many ticks was this? This was almost 900 ticks, and one tick is 25 ringgit. You do your maths, that's a lot of money. But if you're scalping and you are trying to take a position and you know price is trading between this range, so when it's at the upper band you want to short and hope that price comes down here. So it's like really like penalty. Price could very well rejects this notion of going down and further consolidate, but shoot up back up to this level, so you probably miss that penalty and lose. So you have to make a decision. If you're scalping, you have to bite the bullet and make sure you have your stop loss ready to cut loss when the direction of your trade doesn't work out. So that's all for me this video. I'll just quickly come back here. If you like to learn, there's a couple more videos in this Chart Academy. It's totally free. I've completed the psychology masterclass. I'm learning the liquidity trading system right now. There's a few more that I'll probably go through. I'm not familiar with some of these names. Probably you may be, but Andrew as this, I have heard of him. The rest, not so much. But anyhow, that's all I have for today. I hope you all the best in the markets. Goodbye.